Whoa. What? Oopsie. Hey, how's it going? Little flippy? Hope that didn't upset anyone's stomach. Please look at my signs. Maybe that'll upset your stomach. I don't know why I said that. Okay, I pulled 2 cards. And I pulled one from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, as I usually do. And it was the number 12 card, Dragon's Horde. And the subtitle is Protecting the Future. And I also pulled a second card from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. Also, as I usually do. I hit my cuticle, which, I don't know if you are familiar with minor injuries that kind of hurt a lot. If you whack your cuticle in just the right way, it really super hurts a lot for like way longer than you would think. I think it's a nervy thing. It's like a painful funny bone hit, and it's just as unfunny as the other. Anyway, today, like yesterday, I pulled a whale card. Yesterday it was from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and it was resonating, which has to do with their voice, with their tone. And so I didn't even really think about it when I pulled this card, because I pulled it way this morning. It's all the way I think it's all the way the next day now. So I guess I'm actually doing yesterday's cards at this point. But it took me all the way, I don't know, 12, 13 hours later to realize, oh, you pulled whale again. You should probably pay attention to that. And here's what I did when I pulled it. I looked at it and I thought, these guys are like smart. They hold wisdom for like a long time. And I was thinking that they'd live a long time, but I don't actually know that to be the case. They might live like a human lifetime. You know, maybe they could be like over 100, which, you know, they don't smoke and drink or eat red meat, so they, you know, they might have a longer lifespan than us, but then we make their world a toilet and a trash dump, so I don't know. But that was my initial impression. And generally, I think the animals are smarter than us anyway. We think we know so much with all of our science and figuring things out, but we just make it all complicated to come back to the same point that the animals probably knew in the first place. But that's how we do it, us humans. We humans, I should say, if I want to be grammatically correct. And I do, whenever I can. So, I did look up some things about the whale, and just like I thought, they symbolize wisdom, and I can't remember any more details. I'll have to add them to the information box. I literally just read about it before I turned on the camera, but, you know, it just flew away. But one thing I did notice about what the various sites had to say as far as the symbolism, and it's that it's kind of what I was saying all along, like every time I pulled that other whale card, the resonance card, was that they are, you know, sending a message. And something in there that really struck me was the fact that a lot of the sounds they make are either above or below our ability to even perceive consciously. I mean, if we don't hear it in the way that we normally think of hearing things, like that made a sound, this would be something, again, above or below the level of our ability to hear, which is going to affect us in a way differently than just hearing it would. For instance, it's known by like our military and, and ghost adventures that suboral sound will like mess you up. And if you know about vibration, like take the MRI machine. That is magnetic resonance imaging. And if you've ever had one, I've had like hundreds in my life now because I have brain tumors. And maybe it does explain my behavior, maybe it doesn't. It's a thought. It's a thought many have had. But anyway, if you don't know what it is, it's like this big machine. It's in a room, and it basically has a giant magnet in it. So if you go in, you can't have any metal that's going to react to a magnet. So that's something to keep in mind. And then when you do go in, the machine itself is shaped like a big giant metal donut that's sitting up on its end. Like the one that you saw, if you saw Iron Man, you saw Robert Downey Jr. sitting inside the giant donut, eating a donut. It's not that big. That one is outside. It's not going to fit in a room. The MRI machine donut, though, they build it to fit in a room. So then you go in the room without all of your metal, and they have like a wheelchair or whatever that's not reactive to the magnet, because I don't walk so good. And there's a table, and it sort of slides in and out of the tube, in and out of the circle hole. I know, but that sounds like, just kind of skip it for a minute. But you lie on the table, and whichever area of your body needs to get scanned gets slid on the table into the donut hole. For me, it's my head all the time, because that's where the tumors are. And once you're in there, basically they use the magnet and sound vibration is involved, I guess, because it bounces against whatever they're taking the picture of. Like in my case, it's tumors around my spine. And somehow they translate the bouncing of the sound off of the stuff inside your body with the magnet and get it onto a film that you can look at. Like, that's way too many steps for me to even try, but that's what happens. That's the layman description. But it involves sound and vibration. Sound is vibration. And so you can hear these. It's really loud. If it's a good place, they'll give you some good headphones. Otherwise, they'll like give you towels between your ear, and I don't know. It really depends on the provider. So the whales, you know, they can make the sounds you can hear. We've all heard it before. It sounds haunting and almost like crying, and it's almost kind of sad, but maybe it's not. Like, I don't know. When I hear it, I'm sort of like, I feel all kinds of different things. I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be feeling or understanding. But it's interesting. But like I was saying, the subaural, A-U-R-A-L, the subaural sounds that you can't hear, like consciously, they, I guess, bounce around on your stuff the same way like an MRI would, in a way. But then what happens is the sound, I think, penetrates your body, and it's actually like colliding with your bones and your organs, and like it's like inside the membrane of your skin and all of this, and the sound vibration is moving things. All I know is when it's used by like the military, it's demoralizing to the person that it's aimed at, which would be our enemy. And I think it just is so unsettling in a mental and physical way, because it's such an unfamiliar feeling, and it's so invasive, and it's meant to intrude and harm you. I'm sure they can tune it in such a way that it's just the least fun ever. So I just think that it's interesting that these beings can make this whole range of sounds. And if you think about it, like we have our submarines and things in there, and over like my lifetime and even before, I think there's been reporting of like militaries trying to train sea animals to use as basically soldiers and weapons and things, which I think is just unnatural and awful. Like, why are we trying to drag them into our stupid stuff? I don't like it. But they're smart enough to decide if they want to participate or not. I mean, they could learn the stuff or appear to learn it if they want to or not. I have a feeling that on a level that we typically don't access, they're a lot smarter than us animals, period, are. And I'm doing the thing that drives me nuts when I see other people do it, period, or should I say comma? Yes, I should say comma, because it's that thing where people just talking, there's no punctuation. There's like an emotional component where you're emphasizing points and things with like your voice. Like if you've ever heard a Korean talk, there's, I think, more than just the words that you have to learn. You have to learn the actual intonation for the stuff to mean what you want it to mean. And so in the same way, I think the whale in this instance has utter control over what kind of sounds they emit, and if they wanted to, like the thing that has bothered me about the military trying to like recruit animals for their warfare is that, I don't know, it just feels wrong to even try to contort them into doing those things, because that's not their nature. Like, we're having to train them into a new way of being. I don't know, it just feels wrong. Like, I don't even like it when we do it to each other, but damn, leave the poor animals out of it. They're already, casualties as it is when we're like warring against each other, and we're just all hating on each other and not even taking into consideration everything else we're destroying, including plants and animals. So, I think that if they wanted to, like in a sonar way, those sea animals could really mess us up if they chose to. Like, just think of it. If 10 whales decided to surround a submarine and go subarral on it, they could like rattle loose all of the components of the people and the machines. Like, think about it. We are so fortunate that they're not like us. And we need to, I feel like, pay more attention to their way of doing things, since there are all kinds of predators in there, and yeah, they feed on each other when they need to, but they can also coexist without destroying each other's whole worlds, unlike us, and we think we're the smart ones. No, I disagree on many levels. Sorry, I don't even know what it is. I think I do. Hold on. Something was bothering my foot. My feet are bare. It's onion paper. Well, it feels weird on your bare foot, and it makes a sound. It's a whole thing. So anyway, I'm going to read you what the book says about the whale. And it's, of course, completely different from whatever I looked up, because this artist and author of this booklet and these cards, she has her own direction she was headed with this stuff. So anyway, she says, whale, desire to delve deeper, profound peace, ancient wisdom. The whale represents profound emotional health and stability. Emotional health and stability. See, like, they could screw up our subs, but do they? No, they do not. Because they're emotionally healthy. They don't need to do stuff like that. Sorry, getting sidetracked and inserting my own stuff. Let me get back to what she says. Whale personalities are not afraid of emotional expression or traversing difficult terrain. as they have overcome many challenges in their lives. These experiences have enriched them, have given them stability, strength, and a depth that is rare. Whale energy is usually linked to the feminine forces of compassion and communication. That's what I've been saying about the other cards. All that singing they do is trying to tell us something. But can we hear it above or below or even the direct level of sound? No, not until we realize that, oh, wait, we're missing something that's been trying to tell us stuff. We have to get to a place where we open those doors of communication. It's like good for everyone when everyone understands what's being communicated, I think. Anyway, whale energy is usually linked... Oh, I already read that. We can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. Well, I mean, if you consider the fact that they are offering us a source of communication and information that we often, because it's hard to discern, we just kind of ignore it and blow it off or go, oh, that's nice, or that's a weird sound, or that makes me feel some kind of way, but that's about it. I mean, that's as far as I ever went with it. I never really tried to figure out, like, what exactly the whale song is singing about, and I should. I feel like now investigate that. So we can depend on whale personalities when all else seems lost and trust them to be a beacon in our darkest hour. Well, we got to open up our eyes to where the beacon is and our ears. When in balance, calm, steady, deeply compassionate. When out of balance, heavy, slips into old story to bring into balance regular self-care. I just heard dragging yourself back into the positive energy. If you go, and this is me adding to that, if you go into the depths in order to buoy yourself up, you gotta, like, swim toward that positive energy again. And if you're an old whale, you're an old hand at doing that, or an old flipper, I guess, would be the appropriate appendage. Okay, so the other card I pulled was Dragon's Hoard, and the subtitle is Protecting the Future. And this is another one of these jumbled images that is kind of like a dream situation, I think, because there's keys, which to me always indicates that there's something as yet unlocked, like some piece of information that here is the key, like now you know that you have something to unlock. You have to figure out what direction to go in to find that particular keyhole, I suppose. And this, I mean, it says Dragon's Hoard, so evidently this creature is some kind of dragon. We do refer to them as mythical creatures, which, you know, like we say they're lizards, fire-breathing lizards and flying lizards. We don't have those things in reality. Like, maybe they once existed as such, but this does not look like any of that. It looks like a bracelet and a key ring and a like a little, somebody popped a hole into the next reality or something. And it's like, there's what you would expect to find of a dragon, I would think, like a little dragon head and neck situation, but it's so tiny. What, is it a baby? And then its feathers are, I mean, is it coming through this circular business all messed up because it's changing dimensions, or is that its actual shape? Is it just our perception that it looks like this? Is it like the stars where the constellations have all these detailed names and stories, and I look up at them and I go, that's a stretch? I don't know, like the imagination must have been different way back when we didn't have so much stuff filling in reality that basically comes out of our minds and imaginations, I guess. Okay, well, that was a lot. Let me see what the book has to say. Maybe some of it'll connect. I don't know. Dragon's Hoard, protecting the future, legacy, true riches. In the Dragon's Hoard, jewels and precious objects scatter the ground, while ancient scrolls inscribed with the wisdom teachings lie within reach. Ancient scrolls inscribed with the wisdom teachings lie within reach. It really says that. It wasn't me. I don't know. It seems like awkward. Maybe it'll get better. This is a rich opportunity, and you can fill your satchel with the treasures you like best. Take the gifts offered you and dedicate them to the well-being of all, beginning with your own. But use that oxygen mask first before you use it on the child. I don't know why that always comes to mind, but it seems like an apt descriptor for that particular sentiment. Anyway, this is a rich opportunity, and you can already read that. Take the gifts offered you and dedicate them to the well-being of all, beginning with your own. But beware, all that glitters is not gold. Select the precious treasures that will further your spiritual growth and avoid the shiny objects that are empty of real value. Fool's gold. Oh my God, was that like the best Christopher Walken a woman has ever done? That Fool's Gold came out so funny. Okay, anyway. Know that the hoard does not belong to you. It belongs to our grandchildren. What is the inheritance that you wish to leave for tomorrow? What seeds are you planting that you will harvest in your old age when you are weary? What seeds will bear fruit after you are no longer here? That's legacy in a word. The dragon guards the legacy of the future. All who come empty-handed or to fill only their own pockets with gold lie in a dusty heap of bones. You have been allowed entrance by virtue of your kindness or your spiritual practice or sheer luck. Consider as well that your present, this moment, is the future to the dragon. Well, this moment is all... this thing's are trying to pop out. This moment is all of the moments because all time happens at once. In reality, this Earth, planet, world is the only place where time exists the way it does. Everywhere else, it's not like this. I could try to explain that, but I'm not gonna because I'm almost at the end here. But you can find it. Time is not linear. Search that. You will get lots of interesting stuff to go on and trails to follow as suits you, because that's how we should all get our information, in my opinion. Anyway. You may be the one we've all been waiting for. So do not hesitate to take what bequest has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. There's that time again. Like somebody came along at some time in the past and left you a present, and then you arrive at some time in the future. But it's all now. I know, so confusing. But the more you think about it, I swear, the more it unravels. Although it might help if you've had a giant diet of sci-fi in your life. Kind of like eases the way for that stuff to start making some sense. But really, I feel like all you have to do to let stuff in and allow it to make sense is to let go of some other notion that's insisting the new one cannot possibly be true. Because in the world, all things have a place. Past, present, or future, or all now. Ah! Sorry. Not really. This is the time to be bold. Do not delay or overthink. Yeah, don't overthink. You'll hurt yourself. I don't know, that just came in my head and then I just let you have it. Remember to bring an offering for the dragon. Be a good guest, lest it believe you are its lunch. That's right. DoorDash just brings the lunch. It is not the lunch. Okay, you're making me talk gibberish though. A simple prayer will do. I say your grace. Thanks for bringing the food. Thanks for not getting eaten. What am I saying a prayer for exactly? All of it? Sure. Why not? I guess I'm done. Thank you and good night. Think about that stuff for a minute. Wait. I think I'm not done. There was some other stuff. I almost forgot. What am I doing on time here? Oh my goodness, not bad at all. Okay, so there was something I saw right before I started doing this. Or right before whatever, that's good enough. And it was about the Clarence Thomas stuff, the Supreme Court Justice, who all of a sudden doesn't know how to rule because he's breaking all kinds of laws himself. And the root of it turns out to be that dude's just dissatisfied with his life. Like, I don't know why he thinks that he's special or different, but the way the story told it, this news story, was that he, although as a justice, is one of the most highly paid politicians, basically, in the United States. If you're on the court, you're well paid because you're entrusted with decisions that affect the whole country and, by extension, influence the world. So it is a big deal. But it wasn't enough for this guy. He didn't feel appreciated. He felt like he was worth more, deserved more. And I wonder if he thought that already on his own, or if he was influenced to think it when he became the Supreme Court Justice and then came in contact with all these rich people with agendas who feel like, I can go to the highest court in the land and say, look, I like you so much and I think you're swell, and what do you need? Oh, your mom needs a new house. Oh, you have a kid that needs support. That's nothing. I'm super rich. I'll help you. We're friends. And then that sucker believes it and starts doing illegal stuff. Like, he dang well knows better. If he's as smart as he purports himself to be, then why is he coming across as so stupid now? Like, nobody's buying it because you laid the groundwork in advance, so you're Mr. Smart Guy. So you don't get that out. What you get is exposed as being as weak as anyone else. Like, you are no moral, imperator. You should not be orbiting anything because you're just as sleazy and weak as anybody else. And so, what is your product? You have gone to school to learn how to make a decision. It's not in your nature to be fair, obviously, because you're not able to, as is demonstrated by your life now that's come out into the open. So, I just thought, what a disappointment that person is. But then, so many of them are being revealed as who they are, as opposed to who they present as. You get a decision presented to you, and that's by the grace of us giving you that honor. Like the rest of us, we choose the person who appointed you. Unfortunately, we've been choosing some people with worms eating their brains because they're choosing Alitos and Thomases. They're shady and crazy and want to control everyone else, and that's not why you're there. That's not why you're there. If that's what you want to do, then find another career, please. Because you got too many people to answer to be making selfish decisions. That's not why you're there. So I don't know, what about the whale made me think of a connection between particularly Thomas, except that they give us the impression and the appearance of being these judicial, fair-minded people, but they're not. They got agendas themselves. They got opinions, and they deal with opinions, but they also have a set of guidelines to do it by. And when it starts getting personal, like it seems like it has with, I don't know, however many of them that they find are doing stuff that they're not ethically supposed to be doing, or legally, then they're the wrong people for the job. That's my opinion. Where's my gavel? Case closed. Thank you and good night.